Hello world, and welcome to Right On. Coming up, characters outside their fictional world. If you take your characters outside their fictional world, do they still function as compelling, relatable characters? Drop them into a different fictional world. Is there enough character there to continue the story? One prompt from Abbie set me thinking. Here's a perennial social studies question. Is a person a product of nature or nurture? How much of our personality, wants, and desires are formed by our predisposition? And how much by environment, society, family, and friends? If you strip those away, are you still you? Let's run with Abbie's opening proposition and take a character out of her fictional world. What's left? If the world itself is the only thing that makes them special, then the character isn't complete. If their motivation is solely to pull the sword of Zarg from the stone, that's a fail. What's their internal struggle, their want, need, and misbelief? Hooked on classics. Let's take a couple of favorite characters from literature. Lizzie Bennet from Pride and Prejudice. There's very little period detail of Regency England in the novel. It's not written as historical romance, it's contemporary to Austen's time. There's some shopping in Meryton, focused on hats and ribbons, the luxury items of their day. There's little about fashion or economics and no politics at all. Shift the story to now. Lizzie would be a career single, struggling to find Mr. Right. Darcy and the Bingleys? Venture capitalists and social media influencers. This is the new class system of aspiration and elites. But Lizzie? Bright, sparky, an independent thinker, and a low-key rebel. Completely unchanged from the Austen original. Overcoming her prejudice is a kind of coming-of-age story. Shift this to the Asian diaspora. Pride and Prejudice becomes Gurinder Chadha's Fine Bride and Prejudice, with a Bollywood twist. Pip from Great Expectations. A kid from a working-class family out in the sticks does a good deed for a gangster on the run. By random chance, a local heiress takes an interest. Soon he's in London wearing designer brands, doing the rounds of junkets, exclusive clubs, and red carpets. He's probably living it up on social media. Give a kid a makeover and unlimited credit, and yes, it will turn his head. Pip lives life for show in the misbelief that he's happy with his status and attention. Until there's a scandal, the press uncover his roots and the source of his dirty money. It all comes crashing down, made worse by all of Pip's character flaws. I'm pretty sure someone wrote this version already. The thing is, the fictional world doesn't define either character. Now for something completely different. I write speculative fiction, where many readers seek out the world building before the characters. Can we take Violet out of Fourth Wing and have a credible leading character? She's barely credible in Fourth Wing. What do you have outside the YA Romantasy Military Academy, Dragon Rider setting? Not much. Do many of Sarah J. Maas's heroines work outside her world? Farah? Doubtful? Nesta? Snarky and spiky. Maybe she has a chance. The world of Dune is impressive, but the book could easily have flipped environments. If Caladan was a desert world and Arrakis underwater, Paul Atreides could have mastered freediving and wrangled an orca instead of the sand walk and riding the sandworm. Dune isn't really about those. It's about the corrupting effect of power within a coming-of-age story. Home front. What about my characters in my fantasy world? Javanka. More than prey for the vipers. More than her second sight, she's defined by family trauma. In another world, her experience of domestic violence and loss is more than enough to drive her to extreme acts. What about her search for a soulmate? We pivot from fantasy to the romance genre. More than any of that, she wants to control her own destiny. Pivot to the coming-of-age story type. Javanka confronted the Emperor with a vision of his death. She has politically dangerous secret knowledge. Pivot to the political thriller or conspiracy thriller or action-adventure. The secret of my fantasy series? Books 1 and 2 are pursuit westerns, but with swords and armor. Let's pivot to literary fiction. Jovanka still has all that trauma, race issues, and trust issues. Dealing with her backstory and finding her place in the world provides enough to write Jovanka into literary fiction. What about Yari in the next part of the series? She's a teenager searching for a parent taken by the Empire. She's eyed by a bizarre mixture of supporting characters, caught up in a revolution. This could be Iran, 1978, or any time in the last 50 years. From Argentina's military junta to Kosovo in the 90s, from the ISIS takeover to Sudan's ongoing civil war. Hers is a coming-of-age story. In my upcoming book, The Sixth Messenger, Erin has layers of complex PTSD and abandonment issues to work through. Also, a mission she doesn't want and a lack of a personal life. For a job, she has to track down and rescue children. She needn't be a warrior priestess. She could be a private investigator or a social worker. With a bad boss and poor relationships with her coworkers. Erin's childhood tragedy relates directly to her difficult relationship with children, a constant and uncomfortable reminder of her own past. Her issues and resolutions are the same. I could drop Erin into any genre from Western to action, to mystery to domestic. Her story is also a coming-of-age or worldview story. Repeated stories. If there really are only 7 or 10 or 12 stories, according to who's classifying them, and every plot has already been written, then what makes your story unique? It's not the plot. It's not the world. It's the characters. Take your characters outside their fictional world and see if they still stand up in 3 dimensions. Thanks for stopping by. You can like and subscribe to the channel, or go to robincatling.com.